So in this partner hour, we'll be with Integrated Data Technologies, IDT, and Roger Hoyt is with us, head of the organization. Roger and his team, Integrated Data Technologies, is a partner of ours. We work very closely. They have experience in EBA as well as other systems of ours, BIM, for example, and QDMS, as we talked about it early on. And Roger will be talking about, first of all, his company. Let's learn about his organization, his expertise, and also he'll be showing us about Odoo ERP system, how it looks, how it feels, and how it interacts with Bimser International Enterprise Software product range. Roger, if you are ready, I'll stop sharing so you can share your screen. Thank you for joining today's SYNERGIZE Annual Virtual Summit.
Okay, good afternoon, guys. My name is Roger Hoyt. I'm the president and CTO of Integrated Data Technology. We are a business consulting firm located here in the US, specifically in the New York region. We support ERP systems such as Sage, Acumatica, Odoo, and smaller accounting systems such as the Sage 50 and QuickBooks. On the screen right now, that's an image of me. I'm hoping everyone can see my screen. Kevin? Hello?
Yes, Roger. Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay.
By the way, thank you.
Thanks. I wasn't sure there.
Okay.
Yes, to continue, that's me on the screen there. When you see me in person, I'm better looking, so don't feel anyway put off. But to continue, that's my contact information if you ever need to get in contact with me. Okay, so moving on. What I'd like to do is to give a short introduction to integrated data technology. Like I said before, we are business and technology solution providers, and we've been in business since 1988, the better part of 30 plus years. Our main focus is in the ERP space, mainly in implementation, integration, and support services. One of the things that we pride ourselves is that all of our solution technicians and engineers are certified within the product scope that we do. On the screen right now, here are some of the applications that we partner with. As you can see, Bimser is a pivotal part of our solution partners. Next up here is just a short listing of some of our clients that we service. We support and service them in many fashions. They represent multiple industries, so we have a pretty good feeling as to how the Bimser products would integrate within specific industry types. Now, I want, before we go on, is just to set a bit of the agenda that I'm going to be speaking about today. And basically, the core topic is how the Bimser suite of applications and Odoo would support the remote workforce. And that's the topic of SYNERGIZE, supporting remote workforce. So in particularly, I'll be showing today a bit of Odoo and Bimser integrated it somewhat. I gotta caveat this right off the bat. It's work in progress, but it'll give you an idea what's to come out there with this integration. Just like how you saw before the integration with EBA, with Acumatica, and EBA with SAP and such, the same you would see down in a few months down the line with Odoo with Bimser products. Okay, so before I get started on that note, let me talk a little bit about Odoo ERP. For those of you who don't know, Odoo is probably one of the most popular ERP systems worldwide. They boast some 4 million plus users with hundreds of thousands of citizen developers creating applications to support it. Odoo was born out of the open source environment and now has grown up to become a major player in the ERP space. One of the things that Odoo, we really pride ourselves about Odoo, it's that it supports businesses of just about any size, whether you're a small business, a medium-sized business, or even large business, Odoo supports that. And the way how they do it is because there's a core platform that supports the necessary ERP workings. And through its citizen developers and its ecospace, it has developed itself into a major player with thousands of applications specifically pointed to different industries and enhancing the use of that. So, like I said earlier, it's a suite of open source business applications that support the needs of business in terms of such applications as CRM, e-commerce, accounting, inventory, and so forth. One of the value propositions of Odoo is that it's a fully integrated system. When an application is built and deployed into the Odoo ecospace, it's fully integrated with those applications without needing any type of data retyping or reentry. Like I spoke about the mere core sectors in which Odoo operates under, and these are it on the phone. You have finance, sales, website, inventory and MRP, human resources, marketing, services, and productivity. Under each of those topics, there are subtopics that really enhance the application. And these apps are the ones that drive Odoo's usability. It's worthwhile to note that Odoo is the most affordable, flexible, and user-friendly ERP out there on the market right now. Why is it affordable? It's because you can start with one application, and as your business grows, you can add more and more on top of it without having to retype information. It just utilizes the information that is out there. It's flexible because it touches just about every industry space, which makes it very suitable for many business types. And user-friendly because the interface is very smooth, it's not cumbersome, it looks simple enough for any user to get in and get started. I touched base a bit about the Odoo Marketplace when I stated that it's enhanced by applications developed by third-party developers. This is just a a bit of a snapshot of the Odoo Marketplace out there. As you can see, there are connectors to just about any type of business mode. And it's our hope, within a few months, that you will see the Bimser suites of products being out in the marketplace, available for other Odoo users to buy and integrate with. This will really enhance both parts of it. All right, so what is it that we're trying to do with the Odoo Bimser integration? Well, as you know, a year ago, we entered into this pandemic that really disturbed and disrupted how business is done. Out of that came the necessity of the remote workforce and created such a problem that many businesses found themselves not prepared to really function properly. With integration with ERP systems, we think this will alleviate some of the problems that we are facing. And that's why we're proceeding in making it a common platform where users can get onto. The idea here is that if we are to sign into our ERP system and we need to get to, let's say, our quality control, QDMS, we shouldn't need to log out and then log into that application to get information, to copy it and then paste it into this. How about if we were able to see and launch those applications from one common platform? Now, the majority of businesses run their stuff via an ERP system. So why not integrate Bimser suite of products within the ERP space for anytime, anywhere access? We are on the go. We're working from home. It would make sense. The other notion about integrating it promotes collaboration. No longer do we have, like I said, have to log out and log into different applications. When we log into one application, say our ERP, we're basically logging into a Bimser product such as QDMS with the necessary permission and functionality that we know it offers. It also helps us in sharing data in a secure manner. By talking to the applications via API, it makes things better. I think in the session before, we saw how SAP and EBA exchange data. That's the notion here that we're putting forward with Odoo 2, in that anything created out in, say, QDMS can be retrieved back into Odoo for display. That helps with the real-time insights into whatever we're working on. To expand a little bit there on that, what we would like to do is just to give you an outline. Now, my screen basically shows how a typical Odoo launch page would look. As you notice, we do have the Beam and QDMS icons on there. So when we actually release it, this is what you would probably see once you subscribe to those applications. So apart from your typical accounting suite of products and applications out there, you would have QDMS and Beam alongside them. What I would want to do right now is to give you a short demo, and hopefully everything goes well. Like I said, this is a work in progress, but we hope to get this up and running within a few weeks. So let me just go to the demo and show you a couple things about Odoo. And hopefully everyone can see my screen. Okay, so this is Odoo. I'm logged in right now as the administrator on the screen, so I have access to everything. As you can see, I've got Beam, and I got QDMS on there, already integrated as a administrator. I'm just going to bring up a typical user. I have another user, namely me here, who doesn't have access right now to those applications. So I'm going to go back to my administrator screen, and I'm going to give access to that user. So I'm just going to bring you here. I'm going to go into the Odoo security screen. And I am going to now go down and say that I'm going to allow access to QDMS to Roger Hoyt, me. I'm going to save that. And now I'm going to bring back up my user page, which I'm logged in as me. As you can see, I still don't have it, but I'm going to refresh my page. And I should, once refresh, I should have access to QDMS. And there it goes. QDMS is now an option for me to work in. Now, remember, I'm just, the only credentials I have to know at this point is my credentials into Odoo, which is this page. Because I have permission to QDMS, we are going to, via API, move that credential and authenticate with some single sign-on type of method. I'm going to go into QDMS. I click it. Now we're communicating with the QDMS application out in the cloud, passing our credentials back to it so that we could sign on. And hopefully this works. Like I said, this is work in progress, but here we go. Looks good. We're coming up and we're loading data from QDMS as we speak. As you can see, we've got, for under this particular login, these documents that are in here, you know, I could click into them and see further what they represent. For complaints, I click on complaints, I see it here. Right now, I'm actually working in QDMS via the Odoo integration. I could actually click into there, one of the complaints, and I can see what's happening on the complaint here. I could actually read in it. So as a user with the permission to enter QDMS, all I need to know is my login to Odoo, and I can actually do my CAPA and everything else that I've come accustomed to using within QDMS just via Odoo interface. Now, I want to show you, that's basically the integration as we have it right now. What we do plan to do is to have the idea that when one creates a product or item in Odoo, they can mark that product as to be promoted to QDMS. Why would we want to do that? If we need to do any type of quality control on it, we need the product available in QDMS. And we want to pass that product with all its specification to QDMS. We don't want to go to QDMS and have to retype all the meta information that should be, you know, that we could easily pass over. So that's one of the things we are working on. So there's going to be a seamless working. So somebody in who's creating products or entering products can actually say this product should be available in QDMS and just mark it. And the APIs in the background would pass it on to the QDMS application. And similarly, if we have customer service working out of Odoo, we want to feed them back information from QDMS on status of quality control, such as complaints and everything. So again, we'll talk to QDMS via the APIs to push the necessary information to the screens within Odoo. So client service personnel can readily give their updates to customers as to where things stand. We plan to do the same thing with BIM, the asset management. So BIM would be an asset management application within Odoo. In other words, and we're also looking at the other applications, but right now we're starting with QDMS and then BIM as being the first applications in which we would be putting out there. Now, I talked about the marketplace, so let me give you a bit of a real-time look at it. If customers are using Odoo, one of the things, they can basically go to their app button and they can see any app that was developed within the Odoo market space. So like I said earlier, what would happen once completed and submitted to the marketplace, the Bimser Odoo app, say QDMS, BIM, Ensemble, or let's say EBA, all will live out here for any user worldwide of Odoo to purchase and install it onto their system. This will be the bridging application that causes the two applications to talk to each other. So you can see how we're thinking about extending the footprint of both Odoo and the Bimser applications to a worldwide community. What it helps in actually making now Bimser, say QDMS, BIM, or Ensemble, a readily used app regardless. We don't have to go and install anything. Basically, we'll just have the user sign into Bimser, purchase their subscription, let's say the QDMS application, purchase the number of user, and the integrating app here would then be able to download, install, make the communication, and basically do all the appropriations that need to be done to make them work within the QDMS. On the other side of this, control will always be in the hands of the Odoo administrator. Like I said, they can basically, the administrator can go in and set permissions depending on what a particular user should have. They could add, like right now, I have permissions to QDMS, but let's say I want to give permission to BIM. It's basically will be a checkbox. The licensing will check to make sure that we don't overload the license we have with BIM or QDMS. And once the user goes back in and reload their application interface, that option, again, would be there. And as you can see now, it's there available to them. Similarly, I can go back and take away such permissions if necessary from the user. So it's the tight integration between the two applications that we are looking for. And that's what we're going to be delivering in a few months as part of expanding the footprint of the Bimser apps within different ERP systems. That was the demo that we had. I think that's it for me in terms of the Odoo Bimser applications integration. I am here if anyone has questions.
Thank you, Roger. Thank you for your presentation and also your demonstration about the system Odoo. Thank you very much. And I'm now, if I may, I could like to take over the screen and then we will ask the question because now we are doing the streaming, like the broadcasting live on YouTube and also in our Zoom meeting. So we received a couple questions and we will ask this all together in the Q&A session after my demonstration.
Sure. Okay, I just released the screen to you.
Okay, thank you, Roger. And thank you, Roger, for your presentation, and thank you everyone for joining today's virtual summit. And this is Sam, the pre-sales software engineer of Bimser International. So during the presentation of Roger, so you can see the capability of Odoo. And in the demonstration, you may find that QDMS can work in the same screen in Odoo system, and also in the roadmap, BIM is going to work in the same screen within Odoo as well. So you can see the integration between the systems, between BIM and Odoo and QDMS and Odoo. And in addition, like in Odoo, you also have the capability to manage the permission to the users and user groups if they can connect to the system. So meaning like our system, BIM and QDMS, and also EBA and Assemble, it has the capability to talk with the system Odoo and have the integration, including pull and push the data. And in the following, I want to share my screen and have a demonstration of BIM and QDMS, which is our asset maintenance, fleet, and energy management system, and quality risk audit, performance and compliance management system, respectively. So maybe first of all, let us get into QDMS first, because this is the one that Roger showed within the same page of Odoo. And as for QDMS, this is a web-based system. So if it works as a standalone, you can connect it from your web browser, like Google Chrome, Firefox, Microsoft Edge, or Safari. And if you're using Odoo and you have the integration, or you prefer to have the integration between Odoo and QDMS, also you can open QDMS within the same screen of Odoo as well. And by using QDMS, the system helps you comply with the standards and regulations of your industry. For example, like a universal standard that will be ISO. If you are complying with ISO 9001 and also like ISO 13485 for the medical device manufacturing, then QDMS is the best choice for you to comply with those standards, but not limited to ISO for sure. That those can be like if you are complying with BRL and also FDA, for example, SQF, BRC, for example, then it's also a wise choice to use QDMS for complying with those standards. The reason why, first of all, because QDMS provides over 30 modules in terms of quality management. And thanks to the modular structure of our system, you can pick and choose the modules that you want to have and deploy on your server. And this is my demo environment, and I am logging in as the admin so that I have the full control of the system, so that I can find all the modules that is available in my demo environment. And in QDMS, it is a permission-based system, so not everyone can see everything. You will see what you're supposed to do based on the permissions that are granted to your account. So different users have different permission settings based on the role, position, profession, department, and also group. As again, I'm the admin, which is the account that I'm logging in as, so I have the full control of the system. And right after we log into the system, QDMS, you can see all the pending tasks and also the request for approval on this home screen. You can get a quick connection and start processing these requests that assigned it to your account. For example, the approval requests. These are the documents that the user is trying to upload to the system, and they are waiting for your review and approval. We can get a quick connection from this homepage, and then start reviewing this request and also approving this document. And on the top left, this is the main menu of the system. As I mentioned, you can pick and choose the modules that you want to have for complying with the standards or regulations into your server. So let me show you some of the examples that we always got requested for the demo in order to comply with different standards like ISO, SQF, or FDA. So first of all, let us get into the control document management module. And by using this module, you can upload your document like your SOPs, specifications, procedures, policies, and so on into our system. And also you can update the version of your document as well. Our system, QDMS, has the versioning features, meaning it helps you to keep tracking the version of your document. And once there's any update to your document, meaning you upload a new document, a new version of your document, the version number will be incremented automatically. Besides, you can manage also your folder structure within this module. You can create different folders by locations, by document type, and also by the departments. And as for the folder, it is also permission-based. You will see what you're supposed to do or what you're supposed to connect to. Like the folder for shipping department. As you're in the finance department, maybe you're not supposed to get into that folder. Then you will not have the permission to do so. Vice versa, as for your folder, like finance department folder, no other users like the shipping department can get into it and read your document. And once your documents are uploaded to the system, you don't need any other software or application for reading your document. And instead, those will be shown in the built-in browser of QDMS. We also call it the BimServer. And please keep in mind that if once we integrate with Odoo, as Roger showed it in his demonstration, you can also read your document within the system, meaning within the same page of Odoo as well. So now, as as QDMS working as a standalone, so I can also open this in the built-in browser. And excuse me. Okay. You don't need any other software to read your document, and instead those will be shown in this built-in browser, and you can start reading the content of your document. In addition, you can find all the document information that's related to this document, like the creation date, the creator, the revision date, and also the code and the name of your document. QDMS will save all the versions of your document. And with the permissions, you are more than welcome to get back to the previous version of your document as well. So right here, as you can see, if we do not have the permission, or as always, the system will show you the most up-to-date version to your screen. And unless you have the permission, no one can get back to the previous version of the document. And right here, we can find that as for the version 1, we highlight all the contents of the document. But how does the original document look like? And then I have the permission, like I'm the admin, so that I can get back to the previous version and see how it is and find out the changes between 2 different versions. And while we are uploading or updating our document, we can manage the permission to the users or user groups, including reading, printing, rewriting, getting back to the previous version, or deleting the document. And this is the distribution list. All the users or user groups in this list, they will receive a notification or reminder once this document is newly uploaded or updated in the system. For example, like to the managers group, all the managers in our company, they're supposed to be updated regarding the policies of our company. And once we update the version of our policies that we upload in the system, then they will receive a notification within QDMS and also have a reminder in their email inboxes. This is how our system makes sure you will not miss any important update to the control document. And when we are updating and uploading the document, you can manage the approval flow, and all the users in this flow has to review and also either approve or reject the uploading or revising requests. Or the action that the users perform against your document or in your system will be saved in an archive. And it will be, and under this history page, it shows you the username, date and time, and also the action type that the users carry out in the system and against your document. So that this is the audit trail that you can keep tracking all the actions that the users performed in your system. In QDMS, there is a reporting tool that allows you to create a different ready-made report, and the reporting tool is available for every single modules in QDMS. For example, we have the document status report, document status report, which is in our reporting tool, so that we can get into that particular reporting tool and start creating the report. You can put your criteria, your conditions for your report. For example, I want to see the status of our document which are in revision and also published. After that, we can make our searching and all the records will be shown in a list. And on the top, you can also find the search bar provided, which allows you to make a quick searching. You can enter part of your keyword, and then the list will be updated automatically. And you are more than welcome to export our report into Excel or PowerPoint, into Excel or PDF for sharing with any responsible parties or for preparing your meetings. This is one of the modules that is very helpful, especially for you to comply with the standards. And also, we have the corrective action modules, as known as CAPA module, which allows you to record all the non-conformity that happen in your company. As for this module, you can find all the records in a list and they are in different status. For example, like open, and also as the status as plan, result, follow-up, and so on. It depends on the progress that you're handling this particular record. So if we have a non-conformity that we find out in different means, for example, like from a risk assessment, which we also have a risk assessment module, and then we can create a corrective action associated with this risk assessment item, and also it can be coming from employee observation or from an incident, and even from an audit. Then we can create a new corrective action. And as for managing the non-conformity, we can create a new record, and on the top, you can see different tabs. And the system actually will take you step by step after you defining the non-conformity and also assign this corrective action record to a solution team. Then this team has to create a file of the first progress report, which is an investigation regarding this non-conformity. And I will show you on a high level how it's work in terms of the workflow and also defining the root cause, creating a corrective action, and see if there's any follow-up action before we close the case. So let's get right here to the first page that we have to enter the department information. And this information, when QDMS work as a standalone, all this information, they are saved in QDMS. And once it's integrated with Odoo, then all those information will be coming from Odoo accordingly. And right here, we can find the non-conformity, which we can enter the non-conformity and also the description of it. And we can categorize this non-conformity by pick and choose the item in the list. And this list are configurable, meaning we can always add, edit, or delete the items in the list. After that, we can assign this non-conformity record to a solution team. And I'm going to do is I choose myself as the team leader so that I will receive this corrective action record as an assignment to my account. So now it is created, and as I'm the responsible person, I can find this task right on my home screen. Remember, QDMS sent you the notification regarding the tasks and also the request for approval within our system and also in your email inbox. So right here, we have our corrective action. And as I'm the solution team, I have to do the investigation and file the first progress report. Now on the top, you can see that I am able to get into the next step, which is not in gray color. I mean, now it is available, so I can file my first progress report, enter my first progress report, and attach any documents if needed from my local drive. And once it is ready, then we can save it. And then we can define the root cause. So you can defined where we got this, or what is the source that we have this non-conformity. For example, like out of spec product, maybe it's about the employee or the material or even the machine or equipment. This root cause reason, these root cause items, they are configurable in our system. So anyway, we can pick and choose the one and define the root cause. You can also put some supportive information in this open text box. Once it is ready, then we can save this, and then we can create a corrective action in order to cope with the root cause. As for the root cause, we have that as a machine, and right here we can create a corrective action or preventive action accordingly. And also we can pick and choose the action performer. I'm going to pick myself again, and then you can let he or she knows what they should perform in order to regarding this corrective action. You can put the detail in this open text box and set up a due date for this task, saying coming Saturday, then this assignment will be expired or past its due date. And by using our system, you have the option to either remind the action performer or escalate this task to his or her manager or supervisor. In addition, you also have to define the root cause that you are dealing with. And once it is ready, then we can save this, and the action performer will receive this assignment on his or her home screen. So right here, we can find like what we have assigned it, and I can come to my home page, and this is the action that we have just assigned it. As the action performer, I have to update this particular corrective action record. Either I mark it as performed it, or I request an extension on the due date. Think about it like now we perform it. So what's next? I can add the detail what I have done in regarding this corrective action, and then save the record. And after that, the solution team will receive a notification in order to review and also approve this action that is performed. And after that, we can close this particular corrective action. And before we closing it, you have the option to enter the cost, like how much that we have spent for this corrective action. And once it is done, then we can close this, and your corrective action record will be marked as closed. This is the whole flow on a high level, how the corrective action modules, as known as the CAPA module, work in our system. And also, we have a survey module. In the market, not much of our competitors have this module at all. And by using this module, it's helped you to capture the feedback from your customer, employees, and also from your vendors, supplier, and subcontractors. Meaning, you can get the feedback internally and also externally in order to have a continuous improvement within your organization. And we can set up different questions or surveys. For example, we can use this as a vendor evaluation form or internal customer satisfaction survey. And by using this module, we can have different question type in order to get the feedback from our employees. We can have an open text box that the employees can enter whatever they want to answer to this question, or a bullet point, or let me rephrase, it should be the radio button, meaning you can pick and choose the most appropriate items for this question. Furthermore, you can have a multiple choice question, a drop-down list that allows you to pick and choose the answer. And if you notice right now, we choose as yes, and we can see question number 5 and number 6. What if we choose no? Those questions are hidden. And we can easily set up this kind of rule by using this module in order to make sure we are getting what we want to have and the most accurate answer from our participants. And at last, in terms of the question type, you can also set up a question, and the users or participants can pick and choose the date and time from a calendar view or attach any document to the survey. And by using this module, you can find all the results of your survey or questionnaire. And right here, I can find the answer as in an overview, like how many of them answer or pick and choose the first item for the first question, so forth and so on, and also the percentage in terms of the number of the participants answer as the first item. In addition, we can see the individual answers for different surveys as well. So these are all the participants, and it's recorded with the username and also the date and time. And we are more than welcome to open this particular answer sheet and put this on our screen. And one follow-up question that you might have is, can we do that anonymously, like without recording the username? Because for some sensitive questions or survey, or even tasks, the username shouldn't record it. Can we do that in QDMS? And my answer is yes, absolutely. You can do so. We can hide all the username as the users can take the task or take the survey without recording their name in the result. In addition, you can also set up a periodic survey, and once by the time comes, the system will send out a notification and also a reminder to the users to take this task or questionnaire or survey again. I mentioned the terms like task. The reason why, because we can also use this module for creating the task to the employees, saying they join a training, and we want to make sure they have an understanding or have a nice understanding of what the training share, so that we can create a test in this survey module. And right after they take the training or they took the training, then they can come back here and do a test in order to make sure they got the idea of the training that is sharing. And also in QDMS, there is more modules that help you to comply with different standards or regulation. And the last one I want to share with you is the Audit Management module. In this module, you can use it for auditing internally and also externally. We can create our audit planning, like as you can see on the screen, which I'm going to highlight it, is an internal audit planning. So this is a planning for auditing, for audit operation that we are going to take place internally. And also we can create the audit planning for the third parties, like having an external audit operations, meaning we can audit our vendors, suppliers, or subcontractors. And as we have an internal audit planning here already, it is the goal that we want to achieve. How we can achieve this goal as for internal audit, then we have to audit every single employee in every single department. How we can do that is under this planning, we can create different audit items. And as for the audit item, they are the audit actual operations to different departments. As you can see on the screen, this is one of the examples for the sales department. And while you are creating this audit item, you can pick and choose the start date and also the start date and time, and also the end date and time for this audit. And if you need, if you want to define the audit subject, you can also define it in this audit item and invite the auditor and auditee to this audit item. In this example, that will be an audit operations for the sales department, and all the auditors and auditees will receive a notification in email inbox and also in their QDMS account. And other nice features in QDMS is you can pick and choose the questions from the question pool, and all these questions is those that you upload in our system for auditing or for audit operations. In terms of complying with the standard or regulation, some of them do not allow you to have a self-audit, meaning auditing yourself or auditing your self department. So maybe let me give you an example. Like to the quality management, department, they're not supposed to have a self-audit. And what we're going to happen is we will invite another manager from other department, let's say the packaging department or manufacturing department, and that manager will carry out the audit to the quality department, which the manager of the packaging department doesn't know much about quality management. So what can we do? And by using our system, you can pick and choose the questions as a reference for that manager from the packaging department. And then he or she can record, he or she can ask the question by referring to the questions that we defined it, and also record all the answer within our system. So first of all, it's helped you to save the time, like preparing all those questions and print them out for auditing, for the audit operations. In addition, it's helped you to save the cost because papers is not free. You have to, it's cost you from the paper itself and also from ink and also storage. So imagine you can manage it digitally, and our system helps you be ready for audit operation anytime and anywhere with the internet connection. So first of all, it's come to the end of my demonstration of QDMS. It is a demonstration on a very high level, and I'm trying to share some more idea with you how you can enjoy the benefits by using our system, QDMS, for compliance purposes. And then we can jump to BIM, which is our assets maintenance fleet and energy management system, which is also integrated with Odoo. And this is the login page as it is working as a standalone. You can connect it, all our systems, they are web-based, meaning you can connect it by using your web browser, like Google Chrome, Firefox, Microsoft Edge, and Safari. And let me connect to my system. By the way, this is one of the security features that we have in our system. All the users have its own credentials, meaning a unique username and also the password combination. And right after I log into my system, BIM, what I'm going to see is the dashboard, and it's visualize all the data that we have in our system into the windows of our dashboard, like as a scorecard, as a list, as a pie chart, as a table or a pie chart. So it's helped you to keep tracking and monitoring the performance and KPIs of the company. And also the widgets, they interact with each other. Think about, and to the top left one, as it is different locations or departments of your company. And when we choose them, one of them in the list, and the real-time data change accordingly. So that you can always have the real-time data to be shown in this dashboard and keep tracking the performance of different locations and departments. And as for BIM, it is also a permission-based system. So you will see what you're supposed to do, like QDMS, based on the permissions that are granted to your account. So different users will have different permissions by their role, position, profession, department, and group. And as for BIM, there are 4 basic modules that we have in the system, which is the asset management module, which saves all the information of your equipment or machinery, and also maintenance management module, material management module, and the personnel management module. And the last 3 that I mentioned is the 3M while we are managing all the maintenance operations, or as in terms of asset management. Machine is the asset, and then man is the workforce, and the material, which is the spare part that we need for carry out the maintenance operations. And first of all, let us get into the asset management module. And in this module, you can see the map that allows you to integrate with the GPS that you equip on your moving asset. And by using this map, you can keep tracking the real-time location of your moving asset. And let me get an example as your truck of your fleet or the vehicle of your fleet. So we can use this map for maintenance purposes, meaning you can find the real-time location of your vehicle, which you send to a service center for repair or for maintenance, so that you can make sure that vehicle will receive the services on time and in place. In addition, you can find the graphical asset tree that allows you, which I'm going to put this on the screen, allows you to upload the blueprint and also the floor plan of your facility. You can also pinpoint the location of your fixed asset, like your manufacturing machine, your HVAC system, your refrigerator, your freezer, for example. And by coming to this graphical asset tree as a manager, for example, is mostly managed by the management level, they can get an idea what is the status of our assets in our company, and also how they are running on the ground. And in this graphical asset tree, you can upload the floor plan or the blueprint for different locations. The locations doesn't mean like New York, New Jersey, like some other state or some other address. And even in the same building for facility management purposes, you can upload the blueprint or the floor plan for different floors, like the first floor, second, third, and also the basement. So this is how you can make use of the graphical asset tree and keep monitoring and tracking the status of your fixed assets. And in BIM, you can also find the asset tree that allows that shows the structure of your company in a hierarchy form. So first of all, we can go to the asset tree, and then we can expand it. First of all, you can see what kind of assets, like machine or equipment, that allocate to this particular location. And also you can find the asset line to be shown in this asset tree. We can combine the assets together for performing a single task and all the task or maintenance operation that is assigned to the parent asset. In this example, that will be the bus or the coach. The dependent, it will automatically apply to the dependent assets as well. And in this example, that will be the tires, 8 tires, because we equip the tires to the bus, and when we send the bus to the for maintenance operations, in reality, we are not getting the tires out of the bus, and actually it's still attached or connected or equipped on the bus, so that those tires will be unavailable in our system as well. And in terms of the layers, there is no limitation in BIM. The reason why I'm saying this because for some other system, they do have the limitation, and if you want to have an additional layer of the asset tree, they will charge you more, but it is not the case by using BIM. And then we can come back to the asset list, and you can find all the assets that it is recorded in the system. And right here, those asset information, some of them is also come from the ERP system like Odoo. And whatever that you recorded, then we will pull the data from the ERP system and put this into our system by using the web service API. And in BIM, you can record the information like the status, the code, the name, the location, and also the barcode number if there's any. And once you scan the barcode number by using your handheld device, the asset information will pop up automatically. Furthermore, you can define the material that will be used by this asset. So once we have any work order scheduled to this on this asset, then this material will be automatically applied in the work order. But for of course, you can, based upon the actual need or actual requirement, you can take them out from the work order. But the idea is the main idea is you don't have to pick and choose, for example, like 20 materials for one work order, and instead those will be applied automatically. And you can also define the maintenance team as a responsible team to take care of all the maintenance operations of this asset and manage the information like insurance or inspection. The system also allows you to make a decision if you want the system to send a reminder to you before your inspection or insurance is going to expire. So you can see there's a checkbox like add to the alert list, and also you can set up the reminder time. As the appearance is one of the best way that you identify which asset that you're interacting with, you're more than welcome to upload a picture of your asset and also the documents related to this asset, like handbook, safety guideline, instructions, warranties, certification, registration, you name it. So those can be uploaded and connected with the asset. As BIM has a reporting tool for every single module, and you can create over 10,000 ready-made reports. So right here, for example, I have my asset status report. Before generating it, you can put the criteria, conditions to your report, like the asset type that you will want to see in this report, and also like the locations. Then we can prepare our report, and all your data will be shown as a pie chart and also a table, depending on the report type that you're generating it. And you're more than welcome to export your report into Excel or PDF for sharing with any responsible parties. Instead of generating your report every single time you need it, in fact, you can schedule this report to be sent by the system automatically, which means you don't have to log in every single time you need to report, like every morning or every Monday morning when I come back. We had our weekend, like 2 days I'm out of the office. I enjoy my weekend. And then Monday morning, I come back to my desk. I want to know what is the status of my machinery on the ground. Then you can update and ask the system send you the report automatically in your email inbox. You can have that like every single day or every week. And if you choose every week, like weekly, you can also pick and choose the day that you want to receive this report. In this configuration, you will receive this asset status report on Monday at 9 in the morning. So you don't have to log into the system at all. And at 9 a.m., then you will see this report in your email inbox. If there's any unplanned breakdown to your asset, then you can, the workers on the ground or the operators or the drivers, they can file a work request. And BIM has a native mobile application, so they can file this work request by using their handheld device, like smartphone or tablet. It is available for Android and iOS devices. So what they should do is enter the basic information like the asset that they are currently operating and got the issue or unplanned breakdown, and some supportive information in this open text box. As I mentioned, it is available on as a mobile application as well. So they can take a picture by using their smartphone and then attach that picture in the work request as a reference or evidence to the maintenance department or the control center. And once it is ready, then the work request will be sent to the work order pool. And this work order mostly managed by the maintenance department and also the control center. As we have our work request ready, then we can start scheduling a work order based on the work request. And of course, you can create a work order without any requests. And once while we are scheduling it, we can also pick and choose the date and time from a calendar as for the start date and end date. And also we can pick and choose the engineer that should be involved in this work order, and the material that we are going to use, and the services that we purchase or that we need from a third party, like our vendors or supplier, for example, or from a service center. So those can be recorded in a work order as well. And all the costs will be calculated by the system so that you can have a better idea how much this work order is gonna cost your company. And in order to make sure your assets at the best condition, you can also create a preventive maintenance in our system. And there are two ways for you to create the preventive maintenance to your asset. First of all, is followed by date. Like after certain time period, then we will generate a preventive maintenance order automatically to our asset. Like every, I would say every 3 months, for example, every 5 days, or every year. You have the option to pick and choose the unit of measurement and also update the value of the period here as well. If that's not the case, like as for managing our vehicle, I want to manage it like every 10,000 miles, or let's say every 10,000 kilometers. How we can do that is we can use the follow by counter, meaning based on the meter reading that we have or the value that we capture from the IoT devices that you equip on your asset, then the system, excuse me, then the system creates a preventive maintenance order automatically, like based on the production, rotation, vibration, humidity, temperature, or in my example, like mileage or kilometer. So depending on the unit that you set up, and once the value reach the threshold value, then the system creates a preventive maintenance automatically. Similar to creating a work order, you can define the material that will be used and also attach any document that is related to this preventive maintenance. After that, let us get into the material management module, as known as the spare part management module. And in this module, you can see all the materials that you have saved, and those will be shown in this list. And let me get one of the example, a record as an example. So by using our system, you can manage the information like the code, the name, the UOM, unit of measurement. So as for your materials, it can be in a unit of measurements like pieces, box, bags, barrels, or even like grams, for example. So those can be recorded along with the barcode number and also the expiration date as well. And another good features that we have in BIM is the warehouse parameters. For storing your material, you might put them in different warehouses, or you might have different warehouses, and all of those have this material storing in place. And you can set up the minimum, maximum, and also the safety stock level. And once the quantity of your material reach, for example, the safety stock level, then the responsible person of the warehouse will be notified, or the responsible person in the purchasing department will be notified, depending on your actual operations of your company. Then it's make sure you purchase more material into your warehouse and make sure your production will not be interrupted. And in BIM, you can also find the uploaded document and also the picture of your spare part, so that you can have a better understanding how you should manage it and what you're interacting with. At last, we come to the personnel management module. So right here, you can see all the employee information that you recorded in our system. And right here, you can manage the information of your employees, like their ID, the name, the team they're working as, the warehouse they're working at, and also their wage, for example. And one more thing here is you can also upload the document that's held by these employees. It's not only like the certificate or the diploma. More important is the license, the certificate that they have. Think about like the drivers. They should have a driver license. And we can upload the driver license to the system, and the system helps you to keep tracking the expiration date of his or her driver license. Before it is expired, the system will let you know, okay, time to renew it. Make sure you have your license to renew, and our production can be keep going and without any interruption. And at last, there is a resource occupation calendar. It shows the schedules of our employees in the calendar view. And by coming to this calendar, you can also compare the schedule of different employees. So it's helped you to avoid any conflict while you are assigning the task and also have a better understanding of the schedule among the employees. It's come to the end of my demonstration of QDMS and BIM on a high level. Thank you very much. If you have any question, please feel free to ask me.
Thank you, Roger. Thank you, Sam, for presentations and demonstrations. Much appreciated. Let me take over the screen so we can continue our session. So as seen in this session, our software systems, EBA for workflow and business process automation, QDMS for quality management and compliance management, BIM for asset maintenance, facility, and energy management. They are all ready to work as a standalone application as well as integrated with other systems. In this session, we focus on Odoo ERP system as an example. So we like to also address questions at this session where we can actually clarify certain things, certain points, if it will be helpful, of course. So one of the questions about actually BIM. So it is about integration capabilities of BIM. Can it also integrate with certain devices and equipment to automate operation?
Yes, absolutely. So as your devices that you have on your asset and it has a web service API, then our system can integrate with that particular devices and capture the value or the meter reading from that devices and feed our system accordingly.
Thank you, Sam. Yes, so any smart sensors, PLC devices, or other equipment that you may have at your organization. That may be a manufacturing organization, that may be a hospital, clinic, and other organizations that, for example, can always enjoy the integration capabilities of BIM. That's actually very practical if you think about it. Also, in addition to that, we can also help you automate certain processes that basically helps you digitize your business processes, and you can stay away from repeating the task again and again. That is another advantage in that sense. Another question that we have is actually QDMS. Is it possible to perform audits with the mobile application from our mobile device? Sam?
Yes, you can. You can perform the audit by using the mobile application, as QDMS has a native mobile application that is available for Android and iOS devices. So you can download it from the Google Play Store or the App Store for iOS device. And once you download it and connect it to your QDMS, then you can find the audit tasks from the home screen of your mobile application. And by the way, you will see the exact same data set that you'll see in the web browser because they are going to and coming from the same database. And by using your handheld device, you can take your smartphone or tablet to the facility, to the plant, and start auditing the employees or the operators on the ground right away and record their answer digitally. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sam. Roger, in terms of Odoo and Bimser International's software product portfolio, in terms of verticals, what verticals that these two systems, Odoo and QDMS, Odoo and BIM, or perhaps Odoo and EBA for automation and workflow management, what industries and verticals that our attendees can think about using them together?
Well, they will use, they're compatible with the same industries that, let's say, an SAP or an Acumatica would play in. The difference being that Odoo plays a smaller size industry. So all it's really doing is bringing the Bimser apps down to, the medium-sized businesses, the smaller medium-sized businesses. But they all work in, Odoo works across every industry sector that I could think of. So if that industry can utilize BIM or QDMS, then the integration works fine. Just like how it would work for SAP, only on a lower level scale.
Yes, much appreciated. Yes, you're right. I mean, in any industry they can utilize it. Actually, just like you mentioned, all of our systems in Bimser International product portfolio, EBA, BIM, QDMS, Ensemble as well, Intelligent Business Process Modeling, they are vertical free. So either any industry may be okay for utilizing Bimser International's software product portfolio as a standalone or integrated with other systems. In this case, of course, we focus on Odoo ERP system, so that's also an option for the companies to consider. Makes sense. Okay, great. Let me see if there is another question. I'm also checking our list. Yeah, looks like we addressed all the questions in general. Some of the questions are repeating questions as for the limit, as for documents that we can have, limit of employees or users. Well, on the Bimser International side, as for our systems are enterprise level. So they can scale, they are scalable. So when we say scalable, they can scale up, they can scale down based on your requirements. So historically, EBA for electronic business process automation, QDMS for quality and risk management, as well as BIM for asset and maintenance management, they are enterprise level. However, in the last 2 years, we also started to offer our software systems to mid-market. So they can scale up, they can scale down. So for on the Bimser International side, regarding our systems, there is no limit as to how many employees you can have. What's going to be the limit as to the systems that you can users that you can have. Same thing for the documents, for example. So my colleagues can demonstrate early on. You can attach documents, for example. There is no limit as to how large is the document or how many documents that you can have. So we have the capabilities on the software side. At the end of the day, it depends on your, of course, infrastructure, your server, your cloud environment, for example, how strong, how powerful it is in terms of resources. But from our software point of view, you have a lot of options. Okay, good. Roger, before we end this partner hour with integrated data technologies, do you have any final remarks before we move to the next section?
No, I think we covered it pretty much there. Basically what we demonstrated, you can have the Bimser product as a standalone product or an integrated product within an ERP system. We also demonstrated here that, it's also available for the smaller mid-market companies, so.
Correct.
Correct. No, it just lends itself to the scalability and the usability of the product.
Yes. So to our also attendees and audience, so if you have any questions, any other questions, if you'd like to continue this conversation, feel free to send email to Roger Hoyt for Odoo and our software systems, EBA, BIM, and QDMS together. Roger already shared the contact information in the presentation, and that'd be great. Feel free to connect us anytime you like. If you like to have a special demo session or a discovery meeting or discussions as to how we can help you with our software systems together. Roger, thank you very much for your contribution, for sharing your side of the story as to how Odoo can work with Bimser International software product range with EBA, with for workflow and automation, as well as QDMS and BIM for quality management and asset and maintenance management. Much appreciated. We work very close with Roger and his team, and we really appreciate his partnership. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for allowing us. Thank you.